Hello everyone, welcome back to GeekDisorder's web series over HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and jQuery. This is Lavik. I'll be walking you through this series. Today we're going to be going over pseudo classes and pseudo elements with selectors and CSS. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in here. I have a HTML5 basic document set up in front of me, and I'm going to be using embedded styling with our CSS, so you can see it a little bit easier without switching back and forth. Okay, so what is a pseudo class? A pseudo class for CSS is a predefined class that will apply a specific condition to a certain element, like an anchor element for links. There are 5 of them for the anchor element and links. There is a link class which will format a link that has not been visited. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. Well, I need to create me a link first, and I'm going to create a unordered list. Okay, that's what I'm going to put all my links in. Alright, I'm going to create me a list item. Go ahead and close that. Alright, and here we go. Let's go ahead and open up and close our anchor. I'm going to go ahead and add the content. This is going to be a link to Geek Disorder, so I'm going to put Geek Disorder in the content of the anchor. And then we'll add an href for, an href, and I'm going to send it to http colon, /www.geekdisorder.com. Okay, I just want to make one little note here. When you're doing an href for an anchor, you want to include the HTTP, okay? Because I'll just show you here. Well, I'm going to save this. I'm going to run it like it is right now. And there we go. If I click on it, it takes me to Geek Disorder. Alright. If I take out this HTTP here and save, and I run this in Firefox, there it is again. I click on it. File not found. What it's looking for is the HTTP tells it that it needs to go out on the internet and find it. Even with the www.geekdisorder.com, it's looking in my file structure on my desktop for this. Specifically, this is on my desktop, so it's looking for www.geekdisorder.com, and it does not find it. So, just a little side note: always remember to put in your HTTP when you want to head out to the internet with a link. All right. So if I go ahead and run this again, and there we go, we got Geek Disorder. As you can see right now, I have no styling whatsoever, so let's just take a look at the link here. I just visited it, so it is a purple color. You saw before it was a blue color. Alright, and a link by default is blue and it's underlined when it has not been visited. Alright, a visited link by default is purple and it's underlined like it is now. Okay, an activated link, it's when you activate with your mouse, you press down, you see it turns red and it's underlined. That's default. Okay, and what I did there is, if you see I hold down my mouse button, don't release it or you'll go to the website. Hold down your mouse button. That's called activating. You have not released your mouse button yet, so it's red. If I release my mouse button, I'll go to the website. If I drag my mouse off, you see it turns into this, like this will not happen. That's basically what it's telling you. And I release it. You notice this link stays activated. Okay, that's just, I guess they did that on purpose. I guess they consider it still activated or something. I don't know. But if I just click anywhere, it automatically unactivates it and it goes back to normal, which is it's already been visited. So it's purple and underlined. We have a hover. Okay, hover. There's no default for hover, so it stays exactly like it is. Okay, and then we have a focus, for focus, like I can do Alt Tab. Sorry, not Alt Tab. Just Tab, and you can see I can move around in my web browser. And this little box means I have this focus. If I was to press Enter right now, I'd go to Geek Disorder. Okay, and there's no default for focus besides the little box around it. So, alright, so let's go ahead and close that out. Now let's add some styling. And as I said before, we're going to take a look at some CSS pseudo classes. The first one's going to be link. So how do we tell it we're using a pseudo class link? Well, we put an A for anchor. we put a colon, and then we just put the word link, and then from there it is normal CSS. Okay, so by putting link, what am I saying? Well, I'm going to actually take this out for a second. We'll go ahead and just cut that, and I'm just going to put A. Alright, well, here we go. Alright, and if I put color, just to change the color of my font, and I put red, actually let's do something, let's do, what's a good color? Let's see, red, blue, purple's already being used, let's do orange, okay? And I save this, and what this is I'm affecting the anchor, and changing the color of the text to orange. When I do this, and I run in Firefox, just like it is, it's orange. If I hover over it, it's orange. If I activate it, it's orange. Okay, if I focus, it's orange. If I visit it and go back, it's still orange. Okay, what you do when you just say A, you're changing all of the pseudo classes at once. Okay, link, visited, active, hover, and focus. All of those will be set to orange. So that's all your anchor will be. No matter what you do to it, it's going to be underlined and it's going to be orange. Okay, so I'm just going to make that little note. Alright, so we're going to go back and we'll put back in this right here. Alright, so we're going to, this pseudo class, remember, it affects a link that has not been visited. So I'm going to say color, and a link that has not been visited, oops, not color again, orange. We're going to change it to orange. Of course, we've already visited GeekDisorder, so I'm going to add me another link here. I'm going to add Google in. I'm also going to add a third link. So let's change this second one. I said we're going to go to Google. There we go. Alright, so let's put Google here. And this other one, I'm going to change this to an unvisited link. And we're going to go to CNN.com. Alright, there we go. Alright, so remember, the link pseudo class, this link has not been visited. If that's true, then it's going to be orange. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in Firefox, save and run. Alright, I've already been to Google sometime in history, probably while I was running over this before I recorded. I'd already went to a Google link. So that's already been visited, so that is purple, and of course GeekDisorder is purple. If I go to CNN, as you see before CNN loads, it actually just turned purple. And if I go back, it's purple. Alright, so we're going to add another link here. Oops, there we go. And I'm just going to put not visited. Okay, and I'm just going to make up something here. I'm going to put not visited.com. I don't know if that's a real site or not. If you go to that site, I'm not responsible for what you see. I have no clues what is there. Alright, so go ahead and save that. So that's what link does. It turns an unvisited link. Well, a link that you have not clicked on, you have not went to, it turns it orange. So let's take a look at some other stuff. Okay, next one is going to be a visited link. So visited is just like it sounds, visited. And there we go. Alright, now this one, remember, this is a link that you've already visited, like our GeekDisorder, our Google, and our CNN.com. Those we already went to, so this is going to change what they look like after they've been visited. As you notice, the default's purple. So let's change it to another color. Color, we're going to change it to red. Or actually, better yet, gray. Gray's not in use. So let's save. Let's run this, take a look at it. And there we go. We have 3 grays and one that we have not visited, and it's still orange. So, alright, and I'm just going to show you something else here. If I hover over, you see it does not change. If I activate, you see it's still gray. Okay, and let's go back and let's set something for activate. Here. Okay, now let's go ahead and make our activate yellow. So when we hold down the mouse button on it, it's going to turn yellow. Oops, and I guess I have to put activate in there. There we go. And yellow. Alright, and let's go ahead and save and run. I hover over, I click on it, it is yellow. 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 So, Okay. And so remember, activate is when you just press down the mouse button, don't release it. That's activating the link. So when you do that, it will turn yellow. Okay. And let's go ahead, and the next one is going to be hover. Alright, and for hover, okay, with hover, there's a little note we want to take a look at. You want to code this after link and visited, okay? Because I want to show you what it does when you don't code it after link and visited. We code it before, alright, and I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change it to blue. Alright, and let's go ahead and run this and hover. You notice none of my links are changing. Okay? The reason is this hover is overridden by link and visited. Okay? Those are the last CSS that it comes to, because active is only when I press down my mouse button. So those are overriding our hover. So it'll go to the last color that it can apply to that link, and that will be visited or link, depending on if we visited it or not, and it will apply those and override the blue, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this and put this down here. Saying now if I save and I run, if I hover, they are now blue. Okay. Alright. Our last one is focus. And remember, focus is when I use my tab and I focus it, put that little box around it, meaning if I press enter, we'll use that link. So if I go A and focus, okay, if I go up here, and I want to do color, let's see, about red. Okay, so if I focus, it's going to be red. And there we go. As you see, as I focus them, they turn red. Alright. Okay, well, there were the pseudo classes for regular CSS. Those were in before HTML5, and that's kind of how they affect links, and that's what they're used for. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some CSS3 pseudo classes, and these are new. Okay, here, so let's take a look at the new CSS3 pseudo class, first child, and I'm going to create some HTML elements here. I'm going to create a section. Okay, go ahead and close that. Alright, inside this section, I'm going to put, let's say, a paragraph, and this is a paragraph in my first section. There we go. Then I'm going to put me another paragraph. This is my second, be in my first section. Alright, and yeah, that's good enough for right now. And then we're going to go up here. I'm going to select all this, because I'm going to create a second one, and this is my second section. Okay, there we go. I'm going to save that, and we'll go up here. I'm going to add some styling, and okay, so I want to affect the first child. Now, setting this up, you have to remember a couple of things. This requires two elements to be specified. First one is the element you're looking in. The second one is the element you want to affect. Now, having said that, I'm going to show you if I just put section right here and then I put first child. Okay? And then I put color red. Okay? I just put section and I put first child. Now, kind of common sense would make you think that what I'm doing is I'm looking for the first child inside my section. And if I run this in Firefox, if you look, both my paragraphs are affected. It didn't find the first paragraph, the first child of the section. It affected both my paragraphs. It didn't affect anything in my second section. So why did this happen? I'm going to actually make this a little bit clearer here. I'm going to put an H1 here. Put section 1. There we go. Go down here and put another H1, but section 2. Oops. There we go. Alright, so why did this happen? Well, like I said a second ago, you require two elements. The element you want to look in and the element you're looking for. Okay, so if you only put one here, I'll just have a section. It defaults to the body. It's thinking that you're looking in the body, and the first thing you want that you want to look for is the section. So it finds the first section in the body and it colors all the text in it red. That's what happened. Okay, so if I change this and I put a space and put P, so I'm looking for my section, and in my section I want to find the first paragraph, and I'm changing the color red. If I save this and I run, now look, it finds a section, it changes the first child, the first paragraph, red. It does that with my second section too, because every section is going to find the first paragraph and change it red. Okay, now I want to show you a quick little note here. If in my first section I put a H1 between before any paragraph, so I open up my section, the first thing I have is a H1. Actually, I want to make it a little smaller, make it a H2. In the first section, H2. Okay, and I close that off, I save this, and I run this. If you notice, this first paragraph in my first section is not red. What it's looking for is it has to be the first element in your section. That paragraph does. It's looking for a section, and if the first element is a paragraph, it gets turned red. If there's anything else before it, it does not get turned red. Okay. All right. So let's. There's another one. The last child. So let's just go up here and just put last child. Okay. And I am going to copy this right here. Actually, let's go ahead and run this first. Show you what it does. The last paragraph in any section will be turned red. And if I copy this and I move it down here, now run again, if you notice, same thing as with the first section. If the last thing in the section isn't a paragraph, the last child will not turn it red. Okay, because we specified paragraph, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're going to affect. And the last child in the section is not a paragraph, so it does not do anything to it. Then second section, the last child is a paragraph, so it gets turned red. Alright, and the last one for the pseudo classes for CSS3 is only child. So let's go up here and let's change this to only child. Okay, save and we'll run. Nothing is affected. Okay, if I remove everything from this section except for paragraphs, I left 2 paragraphs in there, I save and run, still nothing is affected. Even though I'm saying section, paragraph, only child, it's not affecting it. The reason is the section has to have just one child. That means only one element in it. So if I remove this and leave 1 paragraph in there and I run, it now affects it because that section has one child and one child only. Alright, okay, and now let's move on to pseudo elements. So what are pseudo elements? They let you select a portion of text and format it. Okay, and to do this, I'm just going to remove all this right here. Alright, and there we go. Kind of clean up this text here. There we go. Alright, so what does this do? We have 2 pseudo elements that we can use, first letter and first line. Okay, and in here I am going to add a break. Okay, and let's see, first line, first P, there we go, second line in second, or in, sorry, first P, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to come up here and I am going to change this to first, okay, a letter. So what I'm looking for is in my section, I'm looking for a paragraph, and this is what happens. every paragraph that it finds in a section, it's going to change the first letter to red of that paragraph. That's what happened. Now I can do first line. I can save. I can run. Okay, it's going to find a paragraph that's inside of a section, and it's going to change the first line, okay, to red. Okay, and this right here doesn't matter if there's anything between. Let's see, between the paragraph and the section. The order doesn't make a difference. I can go up here, I can put I can save this, I can run it. It still affects the first line and the paragraphs inside the section. Okay? Alright, well this has been Labbit with GeekDisorder. I hope this is kind of been a good explanation of pseudo classes and pseudo elements for CSS and CSS3. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know how we're doing, and we will see y'all next time.